Okay, so let's talk about, should I sell my home now or should I wait until spring? It's a big question. In Michigan, a lot of people wait. I think everyone just gets really cold. And you know what? The reality is that most people say, why would I sell my home now? There's no buyers out there. You know, the truth is that's not true at all. The truth is that there's plenty of buyers out looking for homes. And the reason why, interest rates are crazy low. I've got a report here from a Freddie Mac blog, and they talk about how interest rates were an all-time record high in 1981 of 18.63%. And you look at what it's not like now, 4%. You know, and so people lack perspective. They don't really realize that how great this really is. It's such an opportunity to sell a home and to buy a home and to make a real estate transition. So for those sellers out there that are on the fence, then they also talked about, it says right here, if you're thinking of purchasing a home, waiting for a dramatic decrease in mortgage rates might not make sense. So for the seller that's thinking of selling but waiting until spring for no other reason than thinking that there's no buyers out there, it's a false move because there are plenty of buyers taking advantage of low interest rates. They know interest rates are low and they want to capitalize on that because they're poised to raise to about 6% next year. So this impacts you as well on the buy side. When you sell a home today, you get to take advantage of 4% interest rates. If you wait until spring or summer next year, not only will that next home cost you more money because the prices will have elevated, but the interest rates will be potentially 1.5% more. You know that impacts the price, the total amount you'll pay in your mortgage by up to $100,000. That's a lot of zeros there. So that's a lot of money to spend for the same exact move, only to wait for 4 or 5 months for really no reason. Now, hold on a second. Now, you're going to say, my home doesn't show very great because there's snow on the ground. This is true. You know, landscaping is wonderful. It looks beautiful in the spring. Everyone knows this. But guess what? Your competition is in the same boat. Everybody has snow on the ground, snow in their driveway. You're all in the same playing field. So that reason is not going to cause a buyer to not come take a look at your house. You have the same opportunity they do. Let's talk about a couple other factors. So we have interest rates being low. Buyers know it. What else happens? Well, inventory drops. This is the lowest point of inventory all year long. So what I mean by that is most people don't list a home between October and say January. That's a fact. So most people don't list homes. Most people take their homes off the market if they're shop worn. They've been on the market for a long time. They're kind of tired of being on the market and they failed to sell. They'll take them off. So that drops further. And the third thing is we've actually had a low inventory environment all year long. So what happens is those sellers that are on the market, say from November through January, it's a sweet spot. There's hardly anything out there available. This is a supply and demand conversation. Buyers move into town. That's the kind of the fourth point here, is that there's a lot of relocations that occur, and Grand Rapids is attracting a lot of these inbound relocations. So they come into town, they look at homes for about a weekend at the most. If your home's the only home available in that area, guess what? You're going to get the offer. Buyers don't have choices. They don't have perspective. They don't get to choose between your home and 30 others. That's what happens in the spring. Competition swells between May and July. That's peak inventory time. So low inventory, increased demand, increased pricing. A couple other benefits about listing in the wintertime, and then we'll wrap, is that it's a great time. Holidays are joyous. Your home is decorated, not too much by the way, just subtly. And then when buyers come through, they're going to be in a good mood, and it's just a great environment. So there are so many reasons for doing so, but the biggest one honestly is supply and demand. Low inventory increases demand. You'll be one of few homes available, if not the only one, in your neighborhood, because most people honestly will still default to not selling because they think it's just not a good time. So if you have every reason to sell and you're holding off until spring because you think it's just the best time, think again, because you could be shooting yourself in the foot, and we don't want to do that.